here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
But hold on, it's almost halftime.
All right, getting you set for your weekend. Start of the final day of the work week, and it is halftime live at Knockouts. Haircuts for Men in Fort Smith. We're at Phoenix Avenue right across from Gusano's Pizza, next door to JJ's. The lovely ladies are out here. They are ready to cut your hair, and I got to tell you what, this is not your average place to get a haircut. Matt Smackdown Jenkins inside here with me, Matty T in the studio today. So Smackdown, I know I'd let you know I haven't actually had to pay to get my hair cut in like 10 years.
Have you not?
No, it's because when you don't have much hair, why would you pay somebody to cut your hair? I've had a couple of eyebrow waxes and stuff like that. You, on the other hand,
I do have a head of hair.
You've got a nice head of hair, but you worked on it recently, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it doesn't look like you're going under a pair of shears today.
Well, you never know. The day is still young. I've thought about bringing back the hard part of my head. I did that one time in college, and it didn't go very well.
A hard part of your head?
No, so like they'll part it over to one side and then shave it.
The part.
The part. Yeah,
I thought you said the hard part of your head, which really I thought was like the whole 360 of the head.
No.
Okay.
But no, this is a great place. I mean, first time in here, and we just Kaylee, I think that was her name. She just walked outside.
Yeah,
she's got a sign and a hula hoop.
We're crowding Kaylee's style here. We're right kind of at the end of her stall. That's right. And this, like I said, it's not your average place to get a haircut because you got a fridge full of ice cold beer, and you get a beer with your haircut.
Can't go
your
wrong with
choice.
that.
I mean, and they've got a selection.
They got a wide selection of it,
and it's not garbage either. I mean, they've got Modelo in there. That's what I would be taking if I wasn't working right now.
I'll take any one of those 5 different kinds in there. I'd take anything.
You guys have the limes and the salt to go with the Modelo? I know it's not a bar, unfortunately. You don't have a bartender over there by the cash register to slice limes at the same time. But I guess I'd bring my own lime. But they've got 4 other good beers to choose from too. Plus, a little message delivered with your haircut: be nice to the stylist. Otherwise, they get to put on the boxing gloves that are hanging on the top of the mirror and have fun with the top of your head. That doesn't include scissors for about 5 minutes.
But if you keep messing with them and you keep misbehaving, then they bring out the scissors, right? Is that the deal?
Yeah. One step at a time.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah, we'll be here until 12. We'll be here until 2 o'clock.
Right.
We started at 12 today. And we're going to give away a couple of free haircuts, 1 per hour. Not yet, so don't start dialing that phone. Again, it's Knockouts Haircuts for Men across from Gusano's on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Come by and say hello.
And it's brand new. The place is brand spanking new, following all the social distancing guidelines. Masks are on, and there's lots of hand sanitizer out. And we've seen a couple guys get their haircuts. And hair in spots that I did not realize that wax would go.
I've never seen people get wax their nose. Or inside their nose. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, and right. So, I mean, I've seen people get wax on the outside of their nose. I've had that done before. In fact, the tip of my nose probably has more hair than the top of my head. But the inside of the nose, that was I've never seen anything like that before. But look, I'm not going to tell you that we all haven't maybe stuck things on our nose before, but hot wax, hey, I mean, the guy was happy to do it. He asked for it. He didn't scream in pain, and I think he actually walked out here breathing a little easier than he was when he walked in with a little bit less hair on the inside of the nostril.
Well, the thing that gets me is all the stylists are like, yeah, it doesn't hurt. You're going to be fine.
Sure.
And then there's a guy over here. He's about as big as me, which is saying something, and he grunted as loud as I've ever heard him. It's like, nope. I was convinced for a little bit that they were telling me the truth, and then he grunted and was like, nah, never mind.
I mean, it looked like he had, snorted blue cotton candy up his nose for 30 minutes. But he didn't look like that when he walked out. But he did definitely walked out with less nose hair and less hair on the top of his head, and he just pretty much looked terrific.
But he looked good.
He walked out very happy, too.
He did. Walked out very happy.
As I think anybody will when you come in here to Knockouts Haircuts for Men on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Greg wants to know what the ladies are wearing. They're wearing
Clothes.
Clothes, yes. It's regular clothing, right?
What
So
kind of
looks like yoga pants, T-shirts, and pretty much clothing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was expecting this to be like Hooters, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not scantily clad knockouts. They are fully clothed and still knockouts and look classy and beautiful all at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Best way to put it.
They'll look better than you do when you walk out, but that's just because you're ugly and they're not.
Yeah. And that's a compliment. We're not dogging Greg at all. I mean, that's just a compliment.
I have no idea what Greg looks like.
He's probably more beautiful than me and you are.
877-377-6963. Big halftime today. 3 guests coming up with us. Our usual 12:30 Friday guest, Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. We'll get into some college basketball. Maybe some ideas of other punishments for some of the other schools like Kansas and Arizona and LSU after the reverberation of the one-year postseason ban, reduction of scholarships, and a 3-year probation for Oklahoma State basketball. We have Mike DeCourcy at 1 o'clock. He's a lead college sports writer at Sporting News. Has been there for 35 years. He focuses heavily on college basketball, college football, and he's also a Pittsburgh guy, just like me. So I thought it'd be fun to have him on. And my baseball broadcast partner, Bubba Carpenter, coming on at 1:30 because there was lots of baseball going on the last 2 days. Not games necessarily, just drafts. And a mini draft, I think, is the right way to put it. If you're only going 5 rounds, that is no full draft. But
it's almost like your kids are getting drafted. I mean, you both have seen these guys grow up as freshmen and to now juniors and seniors, and they're achieving their lifelong dream.
Well, yeah, and so you feel you want to feel more happy for these kids than anything else. But at the same time, there's also a what would have been.
Yeah.
Anybody that got drafted yesterday pretty much is going to sign. There might be a couple here and there that don't because they might go back on what they had initially told the major league team when they called them and ask, are you going to accept this money? But, case in purpose here, Heston Kjerstad is drafted at a slot value of just under $8 million. From what I've heard earlier this morning, the Baltimore Orioles called him and asked if he would accept $6 million, which would have been more than he would have gotten for a slot value as the 10th overall pick, and I think he took that. So, I mean, when you look at Casey Martin picked 87th overall. The pick value that the Phillies have to give him there is $689,000. That is not what Casey Martin is going to get. Philadelphia only has 4 picks. I don't know exactly how much of a bonus pool they get, but I'd imagine Casey's going to get something in the 7-figure range. But a lot of people made the point on Twitter, and Dave Van Horn made the same point this morning in a press conference on Zoom. Especially for the high school kids that get drafted and for the incoming Razorbacks that got drafted. That's Mason Wynn, right-hand pitcher and shortstop out of Texas, and Tink Hentz. We've talked about the right-hand pitcher out of Pine Bluff, Watson Chapel High School, and then David Calabrese from Ontario all get drafted. They're gone. They're going to be gone. And I think the same idea would be for Casey because I think he did have a number that he was going to stick to. And it makes me think, and Dave, I think, said the same thing, the Phillies are going to meet that number, and they're going to get him inside their organization.
Being a third-round pick, I mean, you kind of had the suspicion, and we did too, leading up to the draft, that, like you just mentioned, the number that he had for the signing bonus, and if they didn't meet that number, he was coming back to Arkansas. But
yeah, he wouldn't have been drafted in that case.
Exactly.
The people would have been like, well, what's wrong with Casey? It's like, nothing's wrong with Casey. It's a matter that the teams weren't going to meet his demands. That's the same thing with Casey Opitz.
Right.
I think when you look at Opitz, and I think he is the best defensive catcher that I've seen in college in the 6 years I've covered these games. His skill set plays in high minor league baseball or even the major leagues as far as his ability to catch and throw and receive. But I think that Casey had a number that he was going to stick to. And, again, according to Dave, teams were contacting Casey Opitz. Will you accept this? Will you accept this? The answer continues to be no, so they don't risk or waste a draft pick on him. So, I mean, if you look at the idea that Casey Opitz didn't get drafted in the 5 rounds, that does not mean that major league teams didn't see him as somebody that was draftable in these 5 rounds. They just didn't want to spend X amount of dollars on him. it's a boon for Arkansas. My goodness, you are getting a guy who was already a team captain from last year, had added all the muscle, looked like he was growing into a better hitter, and he's already an outstanding catcher. I mean, there's some people that think right now Casey Opitz could catch in the majors now. I mean, he would struggle at the plate as a hitter. As a catcher, I believe it.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Peterson did too, just like he mentioned.
And I also have more reason to just dislike the Cardinals after they make Mason win and Tink hats. As if I needed more reasons, right?
I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah, I feel good for those kids, though. You know, I mean, it's the realization of a lifelong dream, and it's an exciting moment. You'll have a few extra dollars stuffed in your pocket for a while, but you're going to be coached in a different way than you might have thought you would be when you're going to go into minor league baseball. 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I asked Hunter Yurchek over here at Paragould, I said, look me in the eyes and tell me I'll be dead if we ever play them. And he said, Miss Lisa, you'll be dead. Well, I'm not dead. Before they play in football, maybe I'll be out here at Laredo Cemetery, and y'all can come by and let me know the score.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Back again with our friends at World of Wireless. Phone number still the same. Got a new location, 877-305-DISH. One of the things I see here in your showroom floor is a great display for everything you do besides DISH. You've got a lot of internet offerings. You've got your own internet service. Anything wireless, you pretty well do it here at World of Wireless.
Anything wireless. That's why we're called WOW, World of Wireless. So we offer smart home products from the Google Nest line. We have all those available to you with the camera systems, or you can look at the doorbell system, or you can look at the Google Hub, along with our own internet service. So if you live in a rural area and you need internet to make these smart products work, a lot of you don't have good quality internet. We specialize in rural high-speed internet, south of Greenwood, east of Fort Smith, Charleston, Ozark, Mansfield, all those areas. But go to wowfastinternet.com. That's wowfastinternet.com to see if you qualify, and we can get you services in those areas.
Yeah, all you got to do is put in your address, and it'll show you whether or not you live in the coverage area. 877-305-3474 for more details. It's all here at World of Wireless.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire or need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. There's no additional cost, but some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
You could win the ultimate Father's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win an all-inclusive stay at Gaston's White River Resort. This includes 3 nights deluxe lodging, 2 days of guided fishing on the White River, and $200 to enjoy at Gaston's Restaurant. Just register at hitthatline.com. The ultimate Father's Day getaway is brought to you by our Track Sales and Rentals in Clarksville, Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith, Metters Lumber Company in Alma and Ozark, Big Creek Trading Company in Harrison, and by Make Awake Boats in Van Buren. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day. Winner announced on June 19th. Win the ultimate Father's Day getaway from Gaston's White River Resort. HitThatLine.com and ESPN Arkansas.
Junior? Yes, sir.
I love you, Dad.
Happy Father's Day.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones!
Back on halftime, 877-377-6963. Phil Elson and Matt Smackdown Jenkins here live in Knockouts, Haircuts for Men, Phoenix Avenue, Fort Smith. So come on out, get yourself a haircut, get yourself a nice cold beer. We'll talk a little sports. We'll bump elbows. Plenty of hand sanitizer to wipe those elbows off, too. I wash my hands all the time. Are you supposed to wash your elbows after you bump an elbow?
Probably the new trend that we got to start doing.
Wow. I mean, you've been taught to, like, wash your hands all the way down to your wrist. Do we really have to do the entire forearm?
I had a friend, you were talking about that, but I also had a friend, he bought this, it's called phone soap. And I think Matty T's seen it too, but it's literally almost like hand sanitizer for your phone. Because your phone and, like, headsets and different things that we use have all those germs on there.
So phone sanitizer, rather than the stuff that I've got right here. This hand sanitizer is not good. Not good enough for the phone. We got to specialize.
They
stuff.
say that the phones contain more fecal bacteria than a bathroom.
I've heard that. I've heard that one too. So yeah, there's definitely lots of reasons to wipe off the phone.
Not to be gross or anything in the lunchtime hour.
Hey, with all the talk of the comings and goings of Arkansas baseball players, there was a big get for Sam Pittman and football yesterday, getting Lucas Coley, 4-star quarterback out of San Antonio. Nikki Chavanel told us, and she's been telling us for, I think, over a month now.
At least a month.
She had Coley in there as a crystal ball to Arkansas for a while. So kudos to Nikki. Kudos to Sam Pittman and his staff for getting – right now, this might be – I know he's a 3-star on a couple of the services. ESPN's got him listed as a 4-star, which makes him the first 4-star get for Sam Pittman and his staff for the upcoming recruiting class. I know that what was the name of the athlete they just got from Florida? Raheem Sanders.
Rocket Sanders, yeah.
The services said that there's a chance, depending on what happens in the upcoming season, he's got the sort of athleticism where he could also add another star, but – looks like Coley already is, for ESPN. So that's 10 commits, 2 quarterbacks. It's things starting to pick up a little bit as far as the commits are concerned, the verbal commits for football.
I think it spells good news too, because we haven't seen Pittman and the staff coach a game, but you're getting good, solid building pieces for the Sam Pittman era at Arkansas. You're like you said, 10 commits. You've got 2 quarterbacks. You got 1 out of Arkansas, obviously him out of Texas, and he was well wanted. He was listed with Virginia Tech, Houston, Washington State. He was a 79th ranked player out of Texas. So Texas is the king of college school football, I would argue. And if you can pull a kid out of Texas to not go to a Texas school, whether it be A&M, Texas, TCU, whatever,
well, I heard
that's
him
a big deal.
I heard him this morning on an interview. He said his mother's a Longhorns fan. But they didn't recruit him very heavily.
Well, that's what we were talking on the rush this morning, too. They did a good hog call down there, too. So maybe it's time for Mama to learn how to do the hog call.
Did Mom look reluctant, or did she buy into it?
How long ago was it with the was it 2 or 3 years ago? Kid signed with Florida, and the mama was just not having it.
Oh, I remember.
You remember that?
Yeah. I think she was a Georgia fan.
Something like that.
I remember this, and she
threw the hat down and walked off the camera set.
Yeah, she gave him the stink eye.
Yeah.
Instead of the I love you face.
Congratulations.
That's a major difference.
But this is a good get. He loved the environment. And Nikki Chavanel told us everything about this, but the one thing I like, he said, I could tell the fans are really serious about their hog football.
Well, that's for sure. He's pretty serious too. He's 16 years old. He's going to be a 16-year-old senior in high school. He will spend his first, I think it's 8 or 9 months on campus at Arkansas as a 17-year-old.
That's crazy.
It's really amazing too. We're seeing this with a lot of athletes now. Although Coley skipped over first grade. He didn't reclassify in the way that a lot of athletes do. He reclassified, in primary school because he was a little smarter than most of the kids around that age. But, yeah, like Robert Moore, I know that there's another freshman catcher coming into Arkansas this next year that also reclassified. But they're doing it strictly, I think, for athletic reasons. And it sounded like Coley, didn't do that he didn't do it for athletic reasons all those years ago. It's interesting, though, too, because when I think of, and now I don't want to compare myself to 4-star incoming athletes, but I do know that at the age of 17, I was a complete idiot. Yeah. I went to school. I went to Indiana University. I guess it would have been my first 4 months there at the age of 17. But if I could do one thing over, I would not have gone to school, not have gone to college that first year after high school. I think intelligence level wise, I would be ready for it. Emotional wise, and being grown up.
Yeah.
No way.
No.
I'm sure Lucas is fine. When I heard him this morning on the interview, he sounded like a very poised and intelligent and focused young man. I didn't have the focus at the age of 17. I don't know a lot of people that do at that age, but it sounded like he does.
Literally, when I graduated high school, I went to college right across the street and was still 20 minutes from home. So,
Tom in Fort Worth thinks you're talking about the Alex Collins story.
I wasn't talking about that, but that's a good story.
I mean, that's sort of like the same thing. That's different, though. That's a different story. Like the one you're talking about was mom just looked pissed. So she threw down the hat, she made a stink face, and that was that. Alex Collins' mom ran away with the letter, the signing letter.
Yeah,
you remember that? It was one of the craziest stories I remember hearing.
And we were legit worried that Alex, but he wasn't coming to Arkansas, and that was one of the big gets for that class with Bielema.
It's like you have to. I think that was back in the day where they had to fax in still their letter. So without the letter, the commitment I guess didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did Alex Collins have to chase his mom down the street or something in order to get that? But I remember when that went down. That was not what you're talking about, though.
No, and I just found it on Facebook, and it was I can't. Let me see if I can.
Here it is. Colin in Greenwood says Landon Collins' mom was upset when he picked Alabama over LSU.
Maybe that's what it was.
Do you think you like those reactions are better than the kid's reaction? The smile on his face or the happy reaction if mom. It's more entertaining to see mom, maybe more than dad, be pissed off about the college selection, just for entertainment purposes.
Well, yeah, mama's upset. There ain't nobody happy at that household. So, seems like I remember that. But I always loved, since we're talking about the recruitment stuff, I love to see the creativity of some of these kids and how they make their announcements where they do the fake the people out with the hats and the different ways.
Well, they're more entertaining than these gender reveal parties that expecting parents have.
That's true. Yeah.
Where I've seen some really funny ones where it's supposed to be a softball that's either filled with blue or pink dust or whatever, and dad can't hit the ball. Like he swings and misses 10 times. You're like, well, I guess. Well, you didn't swing and miss when it mattered, Dad. So maybe you would just want to hear it. Like, okay, all right, hun, is it a boy or a girl? That's how we used to do it,
That seeing the I can't remember it was a year or 2 years ago, but and I don't remember the player, but they did it with Major League Baseball. One of the guys came up and threw it up and then hit it right in front of him just a packed out stadium right before the game.
Yeah, it's not bad. So yeah, those are better. I like the
fails.
The team reveals better than the gender reveals. They're a little more entertaining. 877-377-6963 to get in on the show here. Wade from Branch has sent in a question. He says it sounds like a crazy question, but I read your question, Wade. This is not crazy. He wants to know if there's any kind of home field or home court advantage without fans. He goes on to say he's followed sports 55 years. Always exciting when your favorite team can win on the road in a hostile environment. Or at home, the crowd gets you pumped, so it's going to be weird. So that's right.
That's a good question.
It's difficult sometimes to, you'll ask a coach. Why is this team struggling on the road? They'll always talk about not sleeping in their own beds, bus travel, getting out of the normal routine that you're used to inside your campus structure. You don't get as many calls on the road. Why don't you get as many calls on the road? Is it because of the fans inside the building? In basketball, it seems to be, very much so. It'll be a fascinating structure because, on the other hand, look at what the NBA is doing. There is no home court. I mean, legitimately, they do not have a home court. These are all neutral site games once they get this bubble idea going. The NHL is the same thing. It's all going to be neutral site games. Major League Baseball, the NFL, the way college football and college basketball are approaching this, they're going to, or at least try to, have home games. And some of those places are not going to have fans. 0. Some places will be 33% full. There'll be a couple places that might try to jam 100% in.
Yeah.
So you're going to have varying degrees of effect. Stadium to stadium, city to city, campus to campus. And I don't think there will be as much of a as much of a pronounced home field or home court advantage as there had been before. But these teams still have to travel. They still have to. It's going to be less comfortable to travel now in college sports. I mean, they're trying to cut costs, so there'll be a few more bus rides.
It's not going to be as luxurious as it has been.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, that does lead to some of it. You know what matters more about home court advantage, home field advantage? Whether your team is good or whether your team sucks.
Yeah.
That usually makes more of a difference than where you're playing. So I think that'll still make more of a difference now.
Because, I mean, Alabama's not going to fear coming into Fayetteville. And I'm not trying to knock anything, but they're not.
Boy, can you imagine? Nobody's allowed inside the stadium at Alabama football. What is Nick Saban going to complain about then?
Oh, Lord.
Aaron Torres coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive can save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
From faulty breakers to broken windows, to leaky pipes, roofs, and water heaters, homes and businesses around the country can't work until the pros do. That's why Lowe's created credit programs that work for pros, with everyday 5% savings on eligible purchases, plus through October 31st, 60 days promotional financing on your Lowe's business account, or extended terms on eligible account receivables. Learn more in-store or online at lowesforpros.com. Putting money back in your pocket. Just one more reason Lowe's is the new home for pros. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
We're here to tell you about Boost Mobile's new upgraded network.
That's right. Stronger signal, faster speeds, and more coverage.
So now you can get everything you want faster, like Pitbull's music.
No, the new upgraded network means you can download music faster than ever before. It doesn't mean that it will make Pitbull songs faster.
Oh, so this isn't the song.
No, this is the song.
Well, this is embarrassing.
Step up with Boost Mobile's new upgraded network. Stronger signal, faster speeds, more coverage than before. Switch and get 4 unlimited lines for $25 per line per month and 4 free LG K51 phones. Access to upgraded network requires compatible device. New customers only. 4-line offer requires at least 1 port and activation from eligible carrier. Free phone limited to 1 per line while supplies last. Customers using more than 35 gigabytes of data during billing cycle may be deprioritized during times of congestion. Offers and coverage not available everywhere. Additional terms and restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com or retailer for full details.
We're proud to say Mosquito Joe of Arkansas has been providing professional mosquito control service for nearly a decade now. In that time, nothing has been more satisfying than hearing from our customers about the difference Mosquito Joe has made in their yard. If you haven't tried Mosquito Joe yet, then don't take it from us. Google Mosquito Joe of Arkansas. Look at our reviews, read what our customers are saying, and then call 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960. Get your first service for $39.
Kevin Hickey Law has a great team of people who are dedicated to your legal cares. Kevin Hickey's law team is made up of experienced, caring individuals centered around divorce, child and custody, DHS matters, and more, serving the Fort Smith area and Northwest Arkansas. Make the right decision. Call Kevin Hickey Law at 479-434-2414 and for Northwest Arkansas, 479-802-6560 or the web at kevinhickeylaw.com, where our clients are our main priority from start to finish.
This is ESPN 95.3. listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
As far as those people that are on Andre the Giant's side, I wish they'd come on down, too. I like to slap them around just for a warm-up. But I've already gone through my transformation, man. I'm not the Hulk anymore. I'm the Hulkster, man. I'm on that mountaintop, and I'm waiting for you, Andre. And I'm guarding that mountain. And the Hulkster that's guarding has got a 32-inch neck, a 64-inch chest, the largest arms in the world. And I'm here to seek and destroy. Seek and destroy the cancer of Andre the Giant. And what you gonna do, Andre? In Pontiac, Michigan, when Hulkamania destroys you.
Speaking of 24-inch pythons, Aaron Torres joining us here.
Oh, that's
host of the Aaron Torres
segue.
Sports Podcast, also on Fox Sports Radio on the weekends, our good friend on Fridays and every other day too. Aaron, how you doing today? How large are your pythons? Are they 24 inches?
It's really crazy you asked that. I don't know if you follow this, but I follow this great nature conservationist on Instagram, and he just caught a 17-foot python in Florida that was basically wreaking havoc on the environment. And he's big on YouTube, he's big on Instagram, and the snake got him pretty good, but he got the snake. So I thought that's actually where you were leading this down, Phil. And I was like, wow, this very obscure thing that is only interesting to me apparently interests Phil as well. So what a weird world, man. And I know that's not what you were talking about at all, but it's an interesting story. You should look it up.
You know, the truth is you and I might actually have the same interest here because I have found myself late at night surfing around on YouTube watching videos of snakes eating large animals. So maybe you and I do have the same. I don't know. There's something about it. I can't explain why. I just find it interesting.
If a snake came in here right now, I would be screaming bloody murder and probably running as far as I
would too. But if there's a YouTube video of that thing eating a rat, I'll watch it.
I'm still scared.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of weird. Yeah. No, it's actually a fascinating kind of conversation. Is that, these snakes, people get them as pets, and then when they get too big, they release them into the wild. And it's just having, I have friends, I'm sure you guys do too, but, I have friends that live in South Florida. It's actually like a legitimately huge issue because these things will eat all the natural, animals that live there. And, they'll go after baby alligators. And, listen, this is why you bring me on. I could talk about anything. I'm a very inquisitive person by nature, and this is something that has piqued my interest of late. So, how about that?
He makes my Fridays so much better.
I just see a Netflix documentary at some point, Reptile King to take over Tiger King.
Featuring Aaron Torres.
Featuring
This guy basically is. He goes by Python Cowboy on Instagram. You should follow him. He did a tag this week when he killed this 17-foot python. And he started calling himself the Python King. He's like AT. He just started giving himself nicknames to see if they would stick. So I respect him, and, I'm very much the same. So.
Well, I know what I'm doing later on tonight. All right. Hey, AT, the last time we had you on, Arkansas we didn't hear much about the name Justin Smith. And then earlier this week, there's a transfer bomb that drops in here. He is the latest Razorback, the third incoming graduate transfer. So what do you think he adds to Arkansas? What does this do for Eric Musselman's team?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I think what you said is really interesting, Phil, about the idea that there wasn't much buzz about this. I find this more and more is that, these transfer guys, they've been through the recruiting process. They've done I'm going to cut my list from 10 to 5 to 2, and it's not just in basketball. It's obviously football as well. And I've noticed more and more this offseason that a lot of guys are just, you don't really hear much about them, and then something pops. Vance Jackson was very much the same. He entered the portal, and when I interviewed him a few weeks ago, I asked him, and he was really coy about what programs even reached out to him, because I think for him it wasn't about the glitz and glamour of I got an opportunity to play here, I got an opportunity to play there. It is what is the best place that is going to help me fulfill my dream of getting to the next level. And so as it pertains to Justin Smith, I just think it's just another body. And what it is, and we've talked about this a lot really over the last 8 or 9 months since the start of basketball season, is we know the deficiencies that Eric Musselman inherited when he took over this program, and most of them had to do with size and depth. And so when I look at this team now and I look at a roster where, I don't even think the coaching staff knows exactly what the starting five is going to look like, and I think they're going to have to wait to get everybody on campus to really get a feel for what a rotation will look like. But, Vance Jackson 6'9", Justin Smith is 6'7", 6'8", Jalen Tate 6'6", Moses Moody's in that 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" range. And you just have a what I consider to be kind of a very modern, quote-unquote, basketball team where almost everybody on the court is going to be about 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", and up. They can all handle the ball. They can all shoot. They can all create for themselves. And then, of course, you have Connor Vanover, who even at 7 foot plus is a guy that can hit an open jump shot and really is more of a versatile guy than you would think of 7'3". So to me, it adds to the depth, and it's just one more guy that can pass, catch, dribble, shoot, and that's what you need. That's what you need to win both at the SEC level and on the national stage as well.
It's interesting, AT, you use the word modern to describe the way this basketball team is constructed by physicality, and I think it's also modern in the way that each of these guys found their way to the team. And, they're each of this, like, 3 players each come from a different way to get to the team. You've got, your incoming freshmen, there's 4 of them. You've got 3 returners, maybe, in Ethan Henderson, Reggie Chaney, Isaiah Joe, Desi Sills. One of those guys isn't going to come back, by the way. You got the 3 grad transfers. You got 3 transfers that sat last year. Well, these are all the 4 ways that you get to play college basketball, and Arkansas's got at least 3 of them in each circumstance. I find that to be modern, too.
100%, Phil. And I think what's going to be fascinating, and I don't think it's talked about enough, is that, if this one-time transfer rule passes, like I think about college sports and college basketball could look so different even 2, 3, 4 years from now than it does right now. One, with the name, image, likeness stuff, and it's, I still don't think we really have any clarification on what's going on there. But then 2, if this one-time transfer rule passes, I think we're looking at a future where there's a lot of programs that maybe aren't going to recruit high school players. And I give credit to my buddy John Rothstein, CBS Sports. He's been really vocal about this. I don't know that I'm as passionate about it as he is, but, it's going to cost a lot of high school kids opportunities, especially at the high major level, because, at the end of the day, you look at somebody, say, like a Vance Jackson, and, you say whatever you want about him. Has he overachieved, underachieved, whatever. He's 6'9", and if you see pictures of him, he just looks like a grown man. And he is a grown man. He's 21, 22, 23 years old. And so you counter that with a 17, 18-year-old kid that's never been in a college weight program, that's maybe living at home, isn't eating the way most 17, 18-year-old kids do. And I think there's going to be a lot of programs that look up 3, 4 years from now and say, why am I going to waste 2, 3 years developing this kid when I can just go pluck somebody off the transfer market as well? That's one of the reasons I actually hope this one-time transfer rule doesn't pass. But I think it speaks to the broader point that you're speaking of, Phil, which is that the days of really developing players 2, 3, 4 years in your system, they're just gone. They just don't exist. Maybe at 1 or 2 schools, Villanova, Virginia, stuff like that. But at the most part, an Eric Musselman and Nate Oates, they understand, I don't have 4 years to get this thing right. I'm being paid a lot of money to win now, and I give coaches credit like that. Even, listen, real quick, and I know I'm rambling, but even John Calipari. John Calipari, the guru of high school recruiting, took 3 transfers this season. One's going to sit out, one's a grad transfer, and one is seeking a waiver. It's the world that we live in, and Eric Musselman's pushing full speed ahead, and I think that's good for the Arkansas basketball program.
Speaking of Aaron Torres here on Halftime, Aaron, we've had a couple listeners send this question in over the past week, and especially now since we added Justin Smith to the roster. I know there's no specific ranking for this, but if you were to take in all the graduate transfers that came in, like Phil just mentioned with the transfers that are on the bench, then you add in the 4 freshmen coming in, if you put all those together, like, where do you think that would be amongst all of college basketballs from, like, as far as a ranking per se?
Yeah, and it's really funny because when I do look at some of these rankings, transfers aren't really factored in. And, I wonder, again, we talk about the changing tide of college basketball. It changes really by the year. It's incredible, the leaps and bounds. I wonder if this is the next stage as far as the guys that do the recruiting rankings, because I don't think you can look at a quote-unquote Arkansas recruiting class and not consider the impact the 3 transfers would have. I'll tell you this. It's the same with Kentucky. Like I said, number 1 recruiting class in the country, 5, maybe 6 top, 50 players. But the biggest impact they have is a kid that they're hoping to get as a waiver, as a transfer to sit out, and so or to play right away. Excuse me. So, Matt, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would guess to say, if they're ranked 6th as far as the high school rankings are concerned, But I think if you factor in transfers that are eligible to play, they're right up there. They're right up there towards the top in terms of the roster overhaul, the talent improvement. Off the top of my head, I would say this. Texas Tech, I think, is probably the only other one outside of Kentucky and Arkansas that have really found that balance. Texas Tech has 2 or 3 really good transfers coming in with 2 or 3 really good high school players. I kind of mentioned the Kentucky deal, but Arkansas is right there, man. Arkansas is right there, and there is a reason that it's not just guys like me that are excited, but really anybody that really understands the nuance of college basketball is that you're adding 3-4 guys that have played at the high major level or something like that to go along with a really good recruiting class. And as Phil referenced, 3 or 4 players with experience playing in the SEC. And I think there's real reason for excitement. Now, it's going to be a lot of work, and I think it's really interesting that obviously this time of year, usually coaches have access to their players. Now they don't, and we don't know when that will happen. But, I think to answer your question, there's no doubt that if you factored in transfers with high school players in terms of a quote-unquote recruiting class, I think Arkansas would be ranked even higher than they currently are, and I know they're in the top 10 just for the high school players.
One last thing before we let you go. It's something you've been vocal about on Twitter, and, everybody has been, and that's everything going on with Oklahoma State right now. And specifically, I just want to ask about Cade Cunningham because I cannot remember if it was a listener that sent this in or I saw it on a fan page or something like that, but maybe there's a possibility of him coming to Arkansas because of the Moses Moody connection since they both played high school ball together. Now, I'm not going to ask you that, but just kind of what do you think the future is of Cade Cunningham in Oklahoma State? Do you think he's going to stay put with the Cowboys, or could he be looking to go elsewhere, potentially to the G League?
Yeah, it's a great question, Matt. And what I'll tell you is this. And for people who don't know, Cade Cunningham, #1 high school player in America, he really committed to Oklahoma State for 2 reasons. One, their head coach was the first assistant. He was an assistant coach when Cade was starting high school, and the head coach was the first coach to offer him a scholarship. The other reason, which is much more public, is that Cade Cunningham's brother is on the staff at Oklahoma State, and I'll tell you this is Corey Evans, who's a recruiting guru. I had him on my podcast yesterday, and he said that he's hearing behind the scenes that there are programs that are trying to hire away the brother as an assistant coach, which would then in turn, they believe, give them a leg up on bringing in the brother Cade Cunningham. And when I heard that, I thought of 2 teams that actually have a coaching vacancy on their staff right now that I could see making those calls. And that's Arkansas and that's Memphis. And I don't have any reporting to back up that has happened. But when Corey tells me that people are trying to reach out to bring along the brother, on a coaching staff, it would make sense to think about the schools that actually have a vacancy on their staff. With all that said, as exciting as that sounds, I don't believe that Cade Cunningham will be transferring somewhere else. I could be wrong, but I believe that he's either going to stick it out at Oklahoma State, where, as I said, he has a real relationship with not just his brother on the assistant side, but also the head coach, Mike Boynton. Or I think he'll pursue a professional path, whether that is the G League, whether it is going overseas, I don't know. I just don't see him switching schools at this point. But the one thing I'll tell you is this, is that Mike Boynton, the head coach, I talked to him yesterday. He's actually going to be on my podcast Monday. The Big 12 isn't letting basketball players back on campus until early July. And so there is a very big window where if you want to try to get access to Cade Cunningham, he is not going to be at Oklahoma State. And so whether that is another college program or a professional path, you better believe that his phone, his brother's phone, and probably his parents' phones are ringing off the hook right now. But to directly answer your question, Matt, I would think that if he's going to play college basketball, it's going to be Oklahoma State, or he'll pursue a professional option.
You just made a lot of people's ears perk up when you said that.
That's some college basketball intrigue right there, AT. That's for sure.
Well, and I was telling somebody yesterday, I know you got to go, this is the closest thing that we're going to ever have in college basketball to LeBron James hitting free agency. I mean, #1 recruit in the country, 3 weeks before he was supposed to report, the program goes on probation, and the NCAA says that all these players can go somewhere else and play and be immediately eligible. I think both the Oklahoma State team will stay, but most of the Oklahoma State team doesn't have the options that this kid does. This is the closest thing that we'll ever see to what is NBA free agency. I guess NFL has free agency too, but it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, definitely something to pay attention to. Plus, the Python guy you're telling me about.
Yeah! Python Cowboy, look him up.
It's always great talking with you. Thanks
man,
for
Eric.
everything. Have a great weekend.
When I flex in the mirror, they call me the Python Cowboy.
There you go.
That's what I was shooting for earlier on the segment.
I know. Take care, guys. We'll talk next week.
Take care. Bye, AT. It's Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. Hey, we're brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. They are back. New hours, Tuesday through Thursday, 4 to midnight. Friday and Saturday, 4 till 1. Live music got back yesterday, and tonight there is jazz playing from 8 until midnight. Al Gresh and Friends, plus Brian Clark, and Pop Faves with Joshua Urich. You can learn more about their specials and events on the 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge Facebook page. They continue to abide by all the guidelines with social distancing, plus they've got the state-of-the-art airflow system so you won't smell like smoke, and you've got the freshest environment while you're at 906. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Sample, indulge, and escape at 906 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. We're back after the break.
At AOG, we realize some customers are facing challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. AOG can offer you a wide array of payment options. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Manage your account online 24/7 by clicking on Login/Register in the upper right corner. You can also simplify your life by enrolling in electronic billing, auto pay, and average monthly payments. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday, still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination, following all of the state guidelines in a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
Spring is here and there's no better time to get out of the house and back on the road. Time for the windows rolled down and the radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands such as Toyo. Trust us for your last-minute getaways, open road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you are free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo, we keep you rolling.
It's time for the annual trade-up event at Breeden RV, going on through June 30th. Trade up and get up to $5,000 on NADA trade-in value. Take advantage of rock-bottom prices on all new and used travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Head to Breeden RV's trade-up event and get free maintenance for life on everything new. Breeden RV will also take care of your service needs on all makes and models. Shop today at BreedenRV.com, then come see Breeden RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breeden RV, where adventures begin. See dealer for details.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
For the month of June, Franco Furniture stocked full of Made in the USA. You heard right, Made in the USA furniture and Speed Queen washers and dryers all on sale. Franco Furniture wants you to know we are taking every precaution necessary to keep you safe. We will have hand sanitizer available along with masks. Franco Furniture's #1 priority is keeping our customers safe. In-store no credit check financing. Family owned and serviced after the sale for 27 years. Franco Furniture! 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
Fresh means fresh, as in no preservatives. That's right. If it's fresh, it doesn't need to be preserved. Try Jim's 100% premium Wisconsin cheese. Fresh whole milk mozzarella, wood smoked provolone, old world style Romano and Parmesan. The freshest all-you-can-eat salad bar in town. No preservatives and fresh every time.
Fresh, fast, Jim's Razorback Pizza.
At the corner of Greenwood and Gary in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
It's giveaway time. Giveaway for a takeaway, because we're going to give away a haircut, which means they will take your hair for free.
Is that how it works?
For free, by the way. We're going to give away a free heavyweight haircut here at Knockouts for Men at Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, right across from Gasano's Pizza. With your free heavyweight haircut, which, by the way, is for a value of $30, you get a consultation, a relaxing shampoo, your haircut, conditioning scalp massage, plus a hot face towel, foil shaver neck massage, and a mini neck, foil shaver neck shave. Yeah, we're going to get these things right. And a mini neck massage. That is for the third caller here to our show at 877-377-6963 on halftime. I mean, that's a free haircut at Knockouts for Men for the third caller. All we ask you for is your name and your phone number. It's 877-377-6963. All right, we've got Mike DeCourcy coming up in about 6 minutes or 9 minutes. We are joined by Grant Merrill, good friend. Been a long time since I saw you, Grant.
It's been a while.
Yeah, Grant.
It's been even longer since Tommy Kraft voluntarily let me on one of his radio stations.
And look what it led to.
Glad to be here.
All these years later, Grant reconducting Knockouts for Men here. And thanks for bringing us out today here, Grant. This is a really cool place. It's a different concept, I think, for haircuts that I've seen before.
It is. Matt Merrill, who's a distant relative of mine, he and I go way back, and he called me and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this Knockouts concept. And, they had been on a road trip they're Sooner fans. They're from over Sallisaw.
They're allowed to be. It's okay.
God will still let them into heaven, I'm sure. But, they were on a road trip to Waco or somewhere down in Texas and stopped in a shopping center and saw this whole concept, and they're like, wow, we're investors. We need to do this. So he called me and he said, how do we market this? And I said, well, I'm going to bring Phil Elson out. So,
yeah, bring out the guy who hasn't paid anyone to cut his hair in 10 years.
Bring out the bald guy,
That's
right.
I
mean, but, they've got a really cool concept here. You come here, you get a haircut, you get a free beer with your haircut. And I mean, it ain't the Natty Light. It's not the.
It's not the Ty Richardson special.
No Natty Days, unfortunately, Ty. But they do have Modelo and Ultra, Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. I mean, you got a selection here.
Everybody on hold. We've got our winner now, Alan in Alma.
Alan in Alma is the winner of the haircut here.
Am I okay to give a participation trophy to those who didn't win?
What would the participation trophy be?
Well, we'll give away another heavyweight to somebody who just walks in off the street and said, I'm a member of the Phil Elson fan club.
Ooh. Oh, very good.
Does that work?
I thought if you're doing some sort of like a second-tier prize, if you're giving something away, you could give away somebody's hair that's on the floor.
Well, we could. They've done quite a few different things. You were mentioning the first. I walked in and saw a gentleman that's still in the store here. I thought he was getting a COVID test, but they were actually doing like nose hair removal.
Yeah, it did look like they were going for the hair on his brain.
Your test came back negative, by the way, so that's a good thing. But
did it hurt?
Negative in terms of both COVID and nose hair now.
Right, but. Quick and painless.
He didn't even realize it was happening. Before he realized what was happening, he'd already had the blue stuff in his nose and the hair was ripped out.
I mean, you looked part Smurf there for a minute, but it was. They do all of it. I mean, if you're one of these guys that fancies yourself as needing like the Duck Dynasty Willie Robertson type beard, they can do all the maintenance and they can do all the grooming, and it's just and they got real personable girls here that work here. I know Kaylee. We need to get her on the radio at some point.
Yeah, Kaylee was out there with a hula hoop to get some attention.
Yeah, if you're driving down Phoenix Avenue right now in Fort Smith and you happen to see a girl holding a sign doing a hula hoop thing, honk at her and then stop in here and get a haircut. Now, I told Kay last year, I'll give you a $100 tip if you can hula hoop and give me a haircut at the same time.
These are things that don't go together. That's
Well,
the one
I
that the
know.
bald guy wouldn't mind doing because you can't mess my hair up any more than it is.
I've already been into the libations that they're giving away over here, I guess, if I'm coming up with those ideas.
Kaylee's got some spirit. I'll say that because she let us set up here in her little. It's not really like a stall, but it's sort of like that. I love the boxing gloves though. That's the touch that makes you realize, like, you get a beer here, beautiful women to cut your hair and everything, but you better treat them right. Yeah. Because these boxing gloves are fit to fit on these ladies' hands.
Right.
And they know how to use them.
Right. Well, I know that you guys are, of course, Matt needs a haircut at some point here in the next few weeks, so we're going to have to get him back out here. And
I'll be back.
When we can shape and mold what's left of the top of your head, we'll do that.
All right, so that's Alan from Alma, the winner. We'll give away another haircut during the second hour here. So one more question here for you, Grant. We haven't been able to get on this too much, but sometime in the second hour of the show, I'm holding up, you can't see this right now, but I am holding up a pack of Gremlins movie trading cards from 1985. It's got a stick of bubble gum inside of it. The ingredients for this bubble gum: 35-year-old corn syrup, gum base, softeners, natural and artificial flavors, artificial colors, but in order to maintain freshness, my friends, it had BHT.
Oh,
You think this BHT works after 35 years?
In a related note, I'm actually standing by to fill in on the second hour of the show if you kill over from putting this in your mouth. So,
what time do you want to do this, SmackDown? We've got a couple interviews in the next hour.
1:15.
All right, 1:15. I'm chewing gum and doing radio at the same time, and I don't know if I'll be able to do either one of those things after a bite of 35-year-old gum.
I'll have a camera with me for documentation of this.
Don't go anywhere. Second hour after the break.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Hello, would you like me to find workout classes near you?
There are no stores that sell glasses within 10 miles of your location.
There's enough artificial in the world. That's why Michelob Ultra is brewed with no artificial colors or flavors. With just 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 grams carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0.0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Miss Anna's on Towson is quickly becoming one of Fort Smith's favorite haunts. We're now serving breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Blue Plate specials served Monday through Friday. And don't forget about 99-cent Pie Tuesday. So whether you're craving some of our great kickin' chicken or one of our world-famous desserts, Miss Anna's is the place to be. 5001 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, 649-6300. That's 649-6300.
Tom McCraft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Mainly clear sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down in the upper 50s to near 60. Friday, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures into the upper 80s. Saturday, blue sky and sunshine will be closer to 90. A little bit cooler as we head through Sunday. Highs in the mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to the Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, our final hour of the week. Big meat hooks going SmackDown. I know you're fired up. Weekend's approaching. My kids are coming in.
Heck, you got to have a good weekend.
I know. I'm fired up to see them. And
I don't think my meat hooks have ever echoed this much.
Yeah, inside knockouts, haircuts for men in Fort Smith. It does echo a little bit with your giant hands. And I wouldn't say you can hear every ounce of hair that's hitting the floor.
We had a couple guys come in here and start getting their haircuts. They've been hearing us here today on Halftime, and keep on coming. We're here until 2, so come by, say hello, and get a haircut.
Ice cold beer with every haircut. That's whether you're going back to work or not. So, only one per customer, though, as I understand.
Does that mean me and you can do that, too?
Not with me driving back to Fayetteville after this.
It's hard for me to ask that question
wait till
when
I get
I've
to the
got
apartment.
the boss sitting right across from us, too.
I want to bring on a new guest we haven't had on the show, but I'm excited to have him on. He's Mike DeCourcy. He's a senior college basketball writer at Sporting News. He's been there for over 20 years. A Pittsburgh native, so I already hold him in high esteem. Mike, appreciate your time for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm great, Phil. How are you?
Doing outstanding. Outstanding. We were talking college basketball with Aaron Torres just a few minutes ago. I didn't ask him this question. I wonder what you think. When we're looking at the state of college football right now, all systems are a go. It's like everybody's planning on playing all of their games, it seems like. We don't know what the bowl season will look like and anything like that, but everybody thinks that there's going to be on-time college football. What do you think about basketball? Because that's the sport that's played indoors. And so I wonder, and that's also the sport that comes around in November where we might be expecting a second wave. So I wonder from your perspective, as we continue right now to discuss what will happen in the college football season, what do you think the lay of the land is for the college basketball season to get started in November?
Well, I'm not an epidemiologist, it may shock you to know, because Point Park turns out so many of those. But I can't. I don't worry much about the effect of a second wave because we haven't stopped the first wave, and it's not stopping anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not stopping almost anything from opening, and so other than the possibility of attendance, and even the president is having an event that looks as if it will be attended as if it were a sports event. We don't know exactly what sort of a crowd he'll have at his rally in a couple of weeks, 10 days or whatever. I guess it's a week from now.
Not too far from here either.
It's only
in
7
Tulsa.
days. Yeah, in Tulsa. So, so even that is not being held back. And so I don't really. I mean, no one knows what's going to happen relative to the virus by November, December, or whatever. But I don't see any impediment to basketball operating at a relatively normal way. I don't know what might become of the offshore tournaments. And Maui seems to be going full ahead. I don't know about Atlantis, what they'll do. I suspect that they'll go ahead, but I don't know. But other than that, and the availability of the games to fans and media, I think they're going to play. And I think we'll see a full season. There hasn't been any reason to believe otherwise given to us.
Yeah, I agree. We haven't seen a reason why yet. But I just remember talking about back in March when we realized, my goodness, this could affect the football season. Now I'm thinking in June maybe it affects the college basketball season. But I want to get your opinion on the other forces that are coming together in college basketball, kind of all at the same time. And it feels like the sport is at a crossroads of sort, where you've got, the G League and these other, I don't know how to describe them, like professional development organizations and overseas pro leagues that are siphoning away not all of the best talent, but a good chunk of it. At the same time where, you see this punishment handed to Oklahoma State. Who knows what that does for Cade Cunningham, the nation's top incoming freshman. Other major programs are at risk of being sanctioned, and this all comes in at the same time as the NCAA's got like a year to implement some sort of NIL, name and likeness legislation. So I think out of all of the sports in college right now, college basketball will be going through the most seismic changes. What do you think?
I think that once we get NIL in some form, and the NCAA will put something in place, at least as a placeholder, by January. What the NCAA really wants is for the federal government to put together a piece of legislation that can supersede all the state regulations and also take away any liability concerns the NCAA might have. If the federal government says they have to give NIL payments or make it available to athletes to procure them, then anybody who said from, let's say, 2016, hey, I should have gotten that, it's less likely that they would have to be concerned about paying that person if the federal government says from now on you have to do it. So that's one of the reasons why they want the government to do it. But they're going to they have no choice now but to put something in place at their January convention. It's just a question of how it's structured. So I was really surprised to see the athletic directors at North Carolina and Duke basically try to throw themselves in front of the train to stop this moving train, this moving locomotive that's not, it's not stopping. I mean, they ran right over them. Now, if they had jumped on board, hopped on while it was moving and said, okay, we'd like to steer this a little bit, I think they could have made a point that was salient. But trying to get in the way of it happening is not going to, it's not going to bear any fruit at all. Relative to college basketball and the G League thing, I have major problems with that. Not because I'm opposed to paying young people $500,000 to play basketball. If the NBA had said, okay, here's $500,000, you got to go play in Erie or Fort Wayne or Bakersfield or wherever. Okay, that's cool. That's a different way to become a pro. It's not easy, and obviously to be a bit lucrative. So good, that's fine. But this monstrosity they're constructing. And thinking everything's going to be fine because they put an NBA coach in charge of the team. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. Michael Jordan, if you watch The Last Dance, and obviously I would expect most people in Arkansas did, given what Scottie Pippen did for those teams, you saw what an unbelievable competitor Michael Jordan was. Do you think Michael Jordan would have become that person if he had spent the years when he was 19, 20, 21 in a condo in L.A., doing jumping jacks and shooting jumpers and playing exhibition games?
Yeah.
That guy wanted to play games. He wanted to win. He wanted to win, and he wanted to defeat you. Jalen Green isn't going to have to compete for anything for the next year. Minutes on a team? No. They built the team around him. He plays as much as he wants. Where's the competition?
Yes,
basketball is not just a game of skill. Michael Jordan proved that because he was a great player before his skill was great. And as his skill caught up to his competitive nature and his athleticism, he became one of the two greatest players of all time.
It's funny how you use the word competition, and that's exactly the word I was looking at. That's what's missing from this G League thing. And when you want to talk about your skills, right? We use the word intangible because we don't really know what intangible means. For me, intangible is, dude, you know how to win games. You don't know how to just practice well or pass well or set a pick in a story. You know how to win games. That's a skill. And I do think you're right. Kids learn that in college, where they're not going to learn that in a glorified, organized practice.
One of my concerns about taking a true G League route, which none of the high school guys have ever. I think there was one, Latavius Williams, back in around 2011. The only high school guy ever took that on. One of my concerns about that was that in reality, nobody cares who wins in the G League.
Right.
And the players don't care. The coaches care because it looks a lot better to be 50 and or 40 and 10 than it looks to be 10 and 40. But no one else does. And the fans don't really care. The players don't really care. And that was always my concern about that. But I have much greater concerns in a situation. And one of the problems I've had with this whole apparatus is that people in my business keep saying that a guy like Jalen Green is going to the G League. Well, he's not. I mean, this thing is not. You're not going to the G League. The team that they're putting together will not compete in the G League. If they were, I would have much less concern about it. The problem is that they're going to be on basically what is a glorified AAU team, except that even in AAU, if you're in the Nike circuit, you play in the EYBL, you try to get to the Peach Jam and you try to win it. Now, it may not have as much consequence to the teams involved as an NCAA championship does, or maybe even a state championship, but at least it has some consequence. Playing exhibition games for a full year does not. And I'm not saying that he can't become a better player, but you don't become a great player until you know how to win games.
Speaking to Mike DeCourcy here on Halftime, Mike, we just had some breaking news come across here involving former Arkansas head coach Brett Bielema. He's hit the university's Razorback Foundation with a $7 million lawsuit, claiming it some differences between the buyout agreement after firing him in 2017. So, we've been hearing about this different drama for the past, 2 or 3 years, I guess. So, I guess basically just what your initial thoughts to just this breaking news of this with Arkansas and Brett Bielema.
I'm not familiar with Brett's case individually, but I've seen this happen, seen something of that sort happen. Disagreements between schools and coaches over buyouts. Coaches are getting exorbitant contracts, and then there's like a buyer's remorse. And I'm not saying that applies necessarily to this case, because as I said, I'm not familiar with this case. But we saw it happen at University of Connecticut. They won the championship in 2014 in basketball. Kevin Ollie was an alum.
Yeah.
And when things started to go sour, then all of a sudden they found these self-reported NCAA violations so they could avoid having to pay Kevin money to go away. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of overpaying a coach so you can avoid the trouble of having to replace him if he gets a better offer. I'm not a fan of that, but I'm also not a fan of trying to dodge the contract on the other end. And again, I don't know that's what happened here. I don't know Brett's case, but I've seen that happen in other cases. If you sign a contract and you decide the coach isn't good enough for what you want to do, he doesn't do a good enough job, fine. If the coach breaches the contract, and that's possible to do, that's fine as well. But I have seen it in other places, the idea that you try to find a reason not to have to pay an out. Pitt did that with Kevin Stallings after they handed him a ridiculous 6-year contract that he didn't warrant, because no one, even the school he was employed at, didn't really want him anymore. They could have got him for 3 years and an option, and they gave him 6 years, and then they were trying to get out of it. Eventually, they settled pretty close to what Kevin wanted and deserved.
Yeah, it may end up being one of the things that changes in college sports, is that there's not going to be those buyouts any longer.
Right.
Mike, we're up against the break, so we'll leave it there. Would love to have you on again as we approach college basketball season again, so hopefully we can do this again.
I would look forward to it very much. Thanks.
Outstanding. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
That's Mike DeCourcy, not just a Pittsburgh guy, but a Point Park guy, that little college downtown in Pittsburgh where I went to school. Hey, if you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, put the number down, 479-782-3936. That's the Fence Man. The Fence Man has a fence that can give your business both more security and more curb appeal. They've been doing it for over 40 years. Things like gates and controlled access card readers. The Fence Man can come over for a quick, no-obligations quote. That number, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. We'll come back after the break and react to this news of Brett Bielema filing suit against the University of Arkansas. Breach of contract. Interesting. Back after this.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I asked Tanner Yurchek over here at Paragould, I said, look me in the eyes and tell me I'll be dead if we ever play them. And he said, Miss Lisa, you'll be dead. Well, I'm not dead. Before they play in football, maybe I'll be out here at Laredo Cemetery, and y'all can come by and let me know the score.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Introducing the Kubota Orange Line Trailer Package deal at Gray Brothers Equipment. Take advantage of valued savings on a new L2501 Kubota tractor, including front loader, rotary cutter, box blade, and trailer, all for $19,999 or 0% financing up to 84 months. Don't miss it, the Kubota Orange Line Trailer Package deal at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through June 30th. See us at KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Get your $100 Visa gift card when you make the move to Dish right now, but time is running out. Ben, you got less than 2 weeks or so to make the move to Dish with plans starting under $75 a month.
Come by WOW, the new location next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, right at the light on Highway 22, right where Frank Rowe is, or call us at 877-305-DISH to guarantee your rate for 2 years and to get a $100 Visa gift card, but you got to sign up by June 10th.
Plans with all the sports channels you want and DVR are less than $75 a month.
That's right. We know sports are coming back. You might not think they are, but they're going to come back by the fall, and you're going to want all the sports channels. This will include all the ESPNs, the SEC Network, the NFL Network, all guaranteed. That price will not change for less than $75 a month. You've got to sign up by June 10th to take advantage of this offer and save hundreds of dollars a year.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. Get the $100 Visa gift card when you sign up today. That's 877-305-DISH, or stop in the all-new showroom right at the light next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling.
New Bud Light Seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! You gotta fight for your right to quality.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Molitor misses the three this time. Long rebound. Joe ahead to Harris. Jalen to the basket. Gets the dunk with two hands. And all of a sudden, the Hogs are within three.
Well, they're hard at work inside Knockouts here in Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Kaylee's hard at work cutting a gentleman's hair. You can get a free haircut if you are our third caller at 877-377-6963. You'll get the heavyweight haircut, get your consultation, relaxing shampoo, your haircut, conditioning scalp massage, hot face towel, foil shaver, neck shave, and a mini neck massage. It's a $30 value. It's for free if you're the third caller. 877-377-6963.
Everything on there just sounds so relaxing.
Doesn't it, though?
I mean, my Lord. I mean, there ain't nothing better than a hot steam towel on your face, and then when they start massaging you.
It's like a Valium without the pill, my friend.
Pretty much.
Yes.
That's a good way to describe it.
Although I don't think Valium's going to, shave your neck either.
That's true.
And hopefully people won't try to do that themselves if they ever pop one. All right, so we got this breaking news about Brett Bielema filing a lawsuit against Arkansas Athletics. Yeah, this is actually against the Razorback Foundation, who was on the hook for the buyout.
Yeah, this comes from this first tweet comes from Pete Thamel, and you can find it on Twitter there. But filed for $7.025 million against the Razorback Foundation. Bielema's lawyers filed it today in federal court in Arkansas regarding a breach of head coach buyout agreement.
All right.
And it also goes on, and other related to tortious conduct.
All right, so this is a tort. That's essentially is what that means. So,
but you've been hearing about this for
is he or is he not making over $150,000 per year as an assistant coach in the NFL?
At least.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Was he or was he not attempting to get work? Was he or was he not hired by somebody to specifically make fewer than the $150,000 as a consultant with the Patriots when the man who hired him has the same agent as he does? These things all just seem to be a little bit fishy. And I got a great text in here from Bruce in Nashville. Asked, does Brett want money or chicken? I think that's what you meant because he sent an emoji of chicken. So maybe he wants maybe he wanted a six-pack of Modelo at the same time. I've heard it both ways.
I wasn't ready for that. Man.
Scott in Fort Smith says doesn't matter. You got to pay him. Jeff Long is and was an idiot. But, I mean, you got to pay him unless he also had stipulations that he had to meet in order to be qualified for these lump sum payouts, which included looking for work, making less than $150,000, and a few other things that I can't remember but aren't as important as these things. Now, what did it I guess the tort is, according to Bielema and his party, is that that the Razorback Foundation just stopped paying him.
I guess, yeah.
That's the tort on their part. So this will be interesting, and from what we've understood, this is a case that has to be filed in Washington County, in Arkansas, which makes it a home game. So
we've got our winner. It was Aaron in Fayetteville.
Aaron in Fayetteville is the winner of the free haircut. Bielema could have won it, and he could have knocked $30 off of that buyout that he thinks he's due.
But see, my thing is that I get if he feels like he's owed money, by all means, go for it. You really think he's desperate for this type of money?
It's a lot of money.
I mean, yes, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I hear you that, but I mean,
this is essentially like the signing slot for Heston Kjerstad from the Baltimore Orioles. You know, it's almost the same dollar figure here. Yeah. That's the other thing too. They're looking for a settlement of some form here. Maybe not the full 7.9, but somewhere in the middle of it. And if you're Arkansas, I mean, if you're the Razorback Foundation too, donations were down just a little. We did see that the majority of the donations, or at least the plurality of the donations, came from $1 million donations. Right. So there's fewer donations in that sense. I'm sure that the foundation wants to save as much money as they possibly can. So maybe a settlement is one way to ensure that you're not on the hook for the whole thing, or do you go after the whole thing? This will be very interesting.
It's going to be fun to see how this goes.
Breaking news from Pat Forty. And who did you see that from? Pete Thamel?
That was Pete Thamel.
Pete Thamel.
Yep.
All right. Tommy Kraft is in here with us here, and he's got some thoughts on this.
Just real quick, though.
Shoot.
Think about it. You owe Bielema $3.5–4 million for this year. You're paying Chad Morris roughly $3 million, and you're paying Sam Pittman. That adds up to nearly $10 million. You're paying 3 guys to be the head coach of your team this year.
Yeah. Now,
if this settlement doesn't, because they're going to pay Bielema something. It's just a matter of how much.
Now, doesn't that change?
The lawsuit forces a negotiation to get to the point. But just think about, you're paying 3 different guys potentially to be a head coach of a team, and only one of them are actually coach the team.
Hey, one of them, if they're still paying Morris, they're paying him to find a way to beat you.
Yeah. Right.
They're paying him to be the OC for Auburn, for crying out loud.
What was the line to David Justice in Moneyball? No, the Mets are paying paying you $3 million to not play for them.
To not play for them.
We're
That's
paying
exactly
Chad Morris $3 million to not coach this team.
Well, who knows?
Because I think he was getting $3.7 here minus the $750 or $800 he's making at Auburn. That's what they owe him.
There would be some fans that would say, "Hey, we'd love Morris to make all the offensive decisions when Auburn comes in, because that might lead to some bad throws."
You think about what you're paying for coaches to not coach, and it's pretty staggering.
It's a good point.
Yeah,
very good point. So definitely something to pay attention to in the next few weeks as the Razorback Foundation figures out their response.
Yep.
If they go into negotiations, or if they, you take them to court, as you used to say, for the people's court. 877-377-6963 to get with halftime. Don't forget, you can go to hitthatline.com and enter the Gaston's Father's Day giveaway. It is really easy to enter. You're going to get a $200 gift card at Gaston's Restaurant. You'll get 2 nights lodging at deluxe accommodations, and you'll get a guided tour fishing for up to 3 people on the White River. Plus, 6 other winners will get additional prizes. That's at hitthatline.com. You can enter through next Friday, and the guys in the Morning Rush will be picking the winner. That's brought to you by hitthatline.com and Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time.
Every time.
Every time.
Above alcohol and drugs, we reach for, expect, achieve, and accomplish more. The minute we think about using alcohol or drugs, we lower our chance of living our best life. When we rise above, we respect ourselves and live our best life, not a stressed life. Being drug and alcohol-free has always been the best way to be. Hey, it's my best me. Let's do this. Join the RAAD movement. Challenge yourself to rise above alcohol and drugs. To learn more, find and like us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Region 2 Partners for Success, and you can reach us at 870-391-3176.
Your employees and customers have new expectations when it comes to cleanliness. Cintas has the products and services you need to feel prepared. A trained Cintas technician can apply disinfectant and sanitizer spray to common surfaces. And we'll keep you well stocked with gloves, face masks, hand sanitizer, and disinfectant wipes, professional cleaning supplies, and PPE. Just a few ways Cintas can help you keep your business safe. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday, still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination, following all of the state guidelines in a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
It's time for the annual trade-up event at Breeden RV, going on through June 30th. Trade up and get up to $5,000 on NADA trade-in value. Take advantage of rock-bottom prices on all new and used travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Head to Breeden RV's trade-up event and get free maintenance for life on everything new. Breeden RV will also take care of your service needs on all makes and models. Shop today at BreedenRV.com, then come see Breeden RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breeden RV, where adventures begin. See dealer for details.
Make-A-Wake Boat Sales and Service is not only where you can get your next Yamaha or Skeeter boat, they also carry a huge selection of bait and tackle. Find whatever floats your boat at Make-A-Wake Bait and Tackle. They carry tons of top brand lines of rods and reels and everything you need to gear up your tackle box, from Strike King, Kitech, and Zoom to Sunline and War Eagle products. Make finding your next Yamaha or Skeeter boat an easy catch with Make-A-Wake Boat Sales and Service in Van Buren, 4806 Alma Highway in Van Buren, and MakeAWakeBoats.com.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive can save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. Needing some battery help? We've got you. Whether it's a free battery test or a free charge, we can help you get started again. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track, 12 months ending December 2019.
This is ESPN 95.3. Want more halftime? Make sure to listen to the Halftime Pod, presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering. Give them a call at 479-308-9123. The Halftime Pod is available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Let's do a podcast from right here in the booth.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Me and SmackDown live at Knockouts Haircuts for Men in Fort Smith on Phoenix Avenue, right across from Gasano's Pizza. Starting to fill up here a little bit. Come on out. Get yourself looking pretty.
We did. Sean came in earlier. One of our good listeners came in, got him. He's looking clean and ready to go for the weekend, and everybody's getting clean and looking good.
Why is Bubba Carpenter not inside this haircut salon right now? He's on our guest line right now, our good friend and baseball analyst on Arkansas Razorback baseball broadcasts. Bubba, why are you not here getting a haircut, man? I can't get a haircut. It's impossible, pretty much. What about you?
I turned on the radio, and first thing I hear y'all was talking about the Python Cowboy, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here?
It's a Friday, Bubba.
Reminiscent Phil's days back on campus. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, we heard about a guy in South Florida that apparently is really incredible at hunting pythons that people let free when they wanted pets. So, and one of the things I love, this is one of my favorite things about Bubba. You remember this? We did the Zoom rebroadcast of the 2015 game from Hoover from the SEC tournament, and in the middle of the 8th inning, Bubba gets up and he needed to pause the broadcast because Crystal, his wife, had told him there was a snake in the backyard. So he went back and killed the thing and then came back and did the broadcast just like that. I mean, that's my man. That's Bubba being as badass as a broadcaster can be.
Hey, that's focus right there, isn't it, Phil?
That's exactly what it is.
I don't know if it's focus or if it's more that if you got to do what the wife says.
Both at the same time. I know I'm not killing anything. I know I'm not.
Hey,
so
I tell you what, on the haircut thing, I wish I was there, fellas. I went to get a haircut finally last week. I mean, my mullet was looking horrible. I hadn't had hair like that since I was 16. But I go to get a haircut, and it was her first day, the lady's first day. I don't go to, like, a fancy place. It's called, like, Scissors and Cut or something. I don't even know what it's called. But I've been going there forever. And she was trying to wear a mask. And she had glasses on, and the mask was making her glasses fog up. So she kept stabbing me with the scissors. And finally, I mean, she was traumatized. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's all right. It's all right. And she kept jabbing me in the side of the head with the scissors because she couldn't see. Her glasses were completely fogged up. And so about 3/4 of the way through, I think she just kind of threw in the towel and was like, okay, can't make chicken soup out of chicken poop, so we'll see you next time. Like, thank you. So I left. So I could use that haircut right now.
Bubba went to the haircut place, wanted to get a haircut, ended up looking like he had like python bites on the side of his head.
That is fantastic.
I love it. Well, you need to come to Knockouts then, because I don't think they're going to jab you in the side of your head. I will the next time I do a broadcast with you, though. That's going to be a while. And I want to talk about this Major League Baseball mini draft. And I don't want to call it a draft because it wasn't. It was a mini draft. This was kind of crazy to see just 5 rounds. But in those 5 rounds, we saw a couple of Razorbacks. We saw 3 kids that would have been Razorbacks had they not been drafted. So let's just start on Heston Kjerstad. surprise second pick, but the more I think about it, Bubba, and I know you and I have talked about this, the more I love this pick for Baltimore and for Heston, too.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. You know what I didn't realize is that late when you and I were talking the other night, my wife's giving me the stink eye, and I'm like, what's going on? She's like, are you going to tuck Dalton in? I didn't realize it was that late, but it was good talk. I enjoyed talking to you. I don't get to talk to you much anymore. But on the Heston thing, you and I both agree. Camden Yards, I mean, that's a perfect place for him. And not only that, just some of the other yards in that league. I mean, you think of when he goes to Fenway, goes to Yankee Stadium. I mean, there's some pretty hitter-friendly ballparks in that league. I think he's gonna dominate. Now, he's not in the big leagues yet, but I don't think it's going to take long. A bat like his, he's going to get there pretty quick, and I think he's going to have a lot of success. Everyone's talking about how much of a surprise pick it was, and I don't know. I think it's a great pick for him.
Speaking to Bubba Carpenter here on Halftime. Bubba, let's transition over to Casey Martin. And I kind of agree with kind of where Phil was coming with Heston going to Baltimore being a good situation. I feel like Casey going to Washington.
Philadelphia.
Or Philadelphia. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Philadelphia. I'm sorry. I got Bryce Harper mixed up in my head. But going to Philadelphia, that's a good position for Casey Martin to go into and kind of train a little bit to try to get the monkey off his back where he can maybe try to hold off those off-speed pitches.
I agree. I think it's a great – now, I talked to Casey several times before the draft, and Phil, you and I talked about it the other night. I told you that Casey just seemed relaxed and happy and just at peace of mind and was excited about the draft. I'm sure he's a little frustrated he didn't go in the first round, but none of that matters. I texted him after the draft, and I'm like, look, man, first round, third round, 40th round, that crap doesn't matter. You're going to make a lot of money in the major leagues. You're in a great spot. Great organization, and with the tools that he has, he's going to be fine. And as far as the hit part of it, he's a speed and power guy, and there's very few guys that have that kind of speed and that kind of power. He's got the arm strength. I mean, he's a five-tool guy, and there's not a lot of those guys out there, and so he's going to be fine. Get a lot of at bats and get a wood bat in his hand, and that just does something when you get a wood bat in your hand. You're a little more disciplined at the plate. And, you have to admit, he didn't get a lot of pitches at Arkansas to hit this past season. And, it's a little different. You throw a guy in a major league lineup, he's got a lot of protection around him. They can't really pitch around a guy. So, I think he's in a good spot, and I'm excited for him. And I saw several things out there where the whole state's proud of him. And I texted him that. I said, look, everyone in this state is so proud of you. I feel like I've kind of watched him grow up through USSSA baseball, showcase baseball through the Razorbacks. Now, so I'm excited for him. I'm ready to see him out there. As much as I hate not seeing him in a Razorback uniform, I can't wait for him to get his career started.
I know that David mentioned this morning that the Phillies have been looking at Casey for a long time, even out of high school, but nobody drafted him because they knew he was coming here to Arkansas. And I wonder one of the reasons why he might have slipped is some teams, or all teams, aren't really quite sure where to put him in the field. And I feel like the lack of a full season really hurt him in the ability to show that he could be a steady shortstop. And you and I both agree he can play shortstop in the major leagues. The matter is how refined of a fielder can he become. But where do you think he will get his opportunity in the field? Because at first, I doubt it's going to be shortstop.
I don't think it will, Phil, but, in the way the game's changed and you've got all the shifts, I mean, he's a perfect player because of all the shifts that are going on right now. He can play the left side, he can play the right side, he could play, he can play outfield. I think down the road, I think he'll settle in, and you hear the comparison of Pedroia. I see him as a major league second baseman. Now, it's almost a shame to waste that arm because he's got a freaking cannon for an arm. But I see him as a big league second baseman with some pop in his bat to cover a lot of ground. But he can also play outfield. But I really think he'll settle into it. I mean, who knows? I mean, Major League Baseball, it's crazy what goes on. A lot of it has to do with who else is on the roster and, where they're playing. But I could see him as a big league second baseman for a long time in the major leagues.
You want to talk a little bit more about Casey Opitz? I mean, it was a guy, if in a normal draft – normal 40 rounds, no doubt he would have been drafted. But the
10 rounds.
Or 10 rounds. I mean, yeah. But then you heard last night with Kyle Peterson right about towards the end, he's like, someone needs to pick up Casey Opitz. Maybe not necessarily as a hitter, but the dude could probably get behind the plate right now in the majors and catch for any major league team. Obviously, he's coming back to Arkansas, but I think if you look at it from an Arkansas perspective, this is really good news for Dave Van Horn because you get, I would say, essentially say your senior captain and the leader of this ball club back next season.
Oh, I agree. I tell you what, I think Casey coming back is the biggest thing that happened. I mean, we knew we were going to lose Heston and Casey Martin, but Opitz coming back, I mean, that is huge. That's absolutely huge just because he's such a leader on the team. You know, Phil and I, we get to see him out on the field and in the clubhouse, and he's a leader. Everyone looks up to him. He's just a true professional. Now, what I don't understand is the Major League Draft. I mean, it's turned into a freaking beauty contest, and everyone gets caught up in all the analytics and all the numbers. And look, Casey's not going to wow you with any of that. But I tell you what, I agree with what Kyle Peterson said. I think he could catch in the big leagues right now. I mean, it's unbelievable. Phil, and you and I sit behind home plate. We see all the strikes that he gets that are not strikes. He gets calls for his pitchers, and just the way he presents the ball to the umpire. I mean, he's just so good back there. He's so good at calling a game, setting up hitters. I think it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. Now, selfishly, I'm glad he's coming back, but I love Casey Opitz. I mean, he's such a great, he's just a great kid, and he worked hard. I hate that he didn't get a chance, and I think this whole, COVID thing just killed him. Only having 5 rounds, and but I tell you what, he'll come back this next year and hopefully be one of the top catchers taken in the draft next year.
And I know we haven't had a chance to see these guys, but you had a couple of grad transfer catchers come into Arkansas. Emery from San Francisco and A.J. Lewis from Eastern Kentucky, though I read that Lewis can play other positions, and I think his bat gets him in the lineup no matter what. I don't know much about Emery, but you got a freshman catcher coming in who's reclassified, so he's 17 years old, and Casey Opitz, probably the best defensive catcher in all of college baseball. So, I mean, it's got a lot of catchers, man, and guys that are expecting to come in here and play.
Well, and I really think that Van Horn was probably surprised Casey slipped through and is coming back. When I saw that we had signed those 2 guys, I'm like, Dave knows something that we don't know. Of course, I don't think anyone expected him to come back. I was on a radio show with Opitz, a couple weeks ago, and he said on there, he's like, look, if I don't get drafted, I'm coming back, and there's no looking back. There's no regrets. I'm going to come back to Arkansas. He said, I love it there. And we're going to have a great squad, and, I'll work towards the following year. And, he said it, and he meant it. So it's going to be tough, though, guys. There's a lot of tough decisions for Van Horn and his staff to make. I mean, if you just look at the numbers alone, and I don't know what they're going to do with the scholarship increase. I just don't know how they're going to manage this many people.
Bubba, I'm going to need you to say a prayer for Phil.
Yeah, I'm not going to do this right now. I've told the guys, Matty T brought in a 35-year-old pack of Gremlins trading cards. Remember the movie from '85? There is a 35-year-old stick of gum in here that I opened this up. It's broken into 5 pieces. So I'm going to chew this in the next segment, Bubba. You, as a baseball guy, we've all had baseball cards that are like 30, 35 years old. I don't know if we kept the gum. What's the oldest stick of gum you've ever chewed?
Ooh, I don't know. I will say that we found a lot, like back in the day, under the car seats and, in some weird places where I opened them up and I didn't give it a second thought still. I chewed the gum and I turned out okay, I guess.
Okay.
Fairly normal. So I think you'll be all right, buddy.
I will say this. This thing is a lot older. This stick of gum here is a lot older than the year-old Three Musketeers bar that you traveled with to Houston for the Houston College Club.
What?
It's because, he brought it to Omaha last year, so he had it in his bag. And when he opened up his bag at opening day this year, he had in the bag the same Three Musketeers bar that was still in the wrapping. It was misshapen. And had been melted and reformed like 100 times since. He actually stuck it to the wall on Bubba's whole wall situation there. So, I'll chew the gum. You eat the year-old Three Musketeers, okay?
Okay. Hey, that's a deal.
All right,
or
man.
If you survive the gum, you can eat the Three Musketeers. How's that?
I'm legitimately worried he's not going to survive it.
Tell you what, if I survive the gum, I'll call you again tonight. We can have another midnight conversation. How's that?
All right. That sounds good.
Bubba, it's great talking with you, man. Thanks for your time. And look forward to talking to you soon, as long as I live.
You'll be all right, Phil. Suck it up. Rub a little dirt on it. You'll be good to go, buddy.
Attaboy.
Okay. All right. Well, one of these pieces actually looks like this looks like New Hampshire. This is in the shape of New Hampshire. This one's in the shape of Colorado. This one looks like Connecticut. All right.
You got to eat the big Texas piece.
I'm going to put Connecticut in my mouth here.
Oh,
listen to what this sounds like. Oh, God almighty. 35-year-old corn syrup solids. SmackDown's going to finish out the show after the break. I'm just going to go into the bathroom and
You're holding it together right
empty
now.
my guts. Halftime wraps up after this.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is open and ready to serve you in the dining room or on the patio. Make your reservations by calling 478-9600. Joe's wants to say thank you to everyone that enjoyed curbside to-go and delivery service. And please know it's not going away. So come on into Joe's for chips, salsa, all your favorite Tex-Mex, family packs, and your favorite cold beverages. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 for reservations. Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street across from Harps.
It's that time of year, baseball season, and time to clean. Let Service Master Clean help you with your carpet, upholstery, and floor cleaning. Service Master Clean has been an industry leader for more than 60 years and back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or ServiceMasterPC.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
For the month of June, Franco Furniture stocked full of Made in the USA. You heard right, Made in the USA furniture and Speed Queen washers and dryers all on sale. Franco Furniture wants you to know we are taking every precaution necessary to keep you safe. We will have hand sanitizer available along with masks. Franco Furniture's #1 priority is keeping our customers safe. In-store no credit check financing. Family owned and serviced after the sale for 27 years. Franco Furniture! 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
In the office, on the course, poolside, or on the sideline, Pinnacle helps you make the call. A hosted PBX business phone system can provide all the benefits of our traditional phone system without the high cost. Now through the end of July, add 4 new hosted PBX phones and get the 5th one at no additional cost. 5 phones for only $99 a month? Now that's a deal you need to call on. Business communication your way. Pinnacle Telecom, tomorrow's technology today.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch? I'd like that.
You could win the ultimate Father's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win an all-inclusive stay at Gaston's White River Resort. This includes 3 nights deluxe lodging, 2 days of guided fishing on the White River, and $200 to enjoy at Gaston's Restaurant. Just register at hitthatline.com. The ultimate Father's Day getaway is brought to you by our Track Sales and Rentals in Clarksville, Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith, Metters Lumber Company in Alma and Ozark, Big Creek Trading Company in Harrison, and by Make Awake Boats in Van Buren. No purchase necessary. You can register once per day. Winner announced on June 19th. Win the ultimate Father's Day getaway from Gaston's White River Resort. HitThatLine.com and ESPN Arkansas.
Junior?
Yes, sir.
I love you, Dad.
Happy Father's Day.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
This is ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
I listen to public radio.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
All right, I just put the tweet out. About to chew this the rest of the 35-year-old stick of gum.
Are you going to finish it?
You want to tell him? I mean, I told you I was going to chew the whole thing. I mean, I can't just take one piece of it and say that's it. But you want to tell him what my reaction was when this thing actually dissolved into my molar?
You lasted about a good probably 5 or 10 seconds. And there you go again.
I thought you might actually be able to hear me chew it. No, but you can't. It's like this thing.
We're just going off your facial reaction. Oh, my God.
I mean, there's a little sweetness to it, just a little bit.
Can you taste the age on it?
I mean, yes, this is
because the package it's like a thin wax package. So I know that the environment's been all over it.
It's vintage 1985 chewing gum here, Matty T. The best part about all of this are the cards, the Gremlins giveaway cards, which includes terminology that nobody's really going to use anymore, of the old Oriental man. Who sold the Mogwai to
well, he
Billy's
didn't
dad.
sell him really. It was his like his grandson secretly went and got him and sold him because he wouldn't sell him.
You good?
I feel like this gum is made with Mogwai blood or something. This is really nasty, and I'm only two little bites into it, and I got to finish this. All right, I've told you I was going to finish this thing, and I will make it to the end of the show.
You got this,
and then we're going to make it back to Fayetteville after this is done. I'm not sure.
Well, we can. Kaylee just finished up here. She can get you trimmed up and good, get you a cold beer, and that'll wash all the taste out of the taste of the 35-year-old bubble gum.
Is there a 35-year-old beer that they have there you could have?
I'm not going to. Yeah,
I wonder what that would taste like.
Oh boy, this is really terrible. I mean, I love radio stunts. I love trying to do something just for the crap of it. This is one of them. And I will. I'll say I can eat almost anything. This would be the other side of almost. Here's the biggest piece that I'm eating now. The last biggest piece.
You got this.
Oh, what's the oldest stick of gum anyone's ever eaten before?
I think you're up there with it with a 35-year-old. This one was 35. What was this?
This is from the Super Bowl in 1990.
Well,
that one right there that you got these football cards. I don't want you to open any more up. I'm one and done here, man. I am one and done.
We can save it for the next remote, and I'll do it.
Is this going to become a thing for us now?
This is going to be our little. This is going to be our little special thing. And it's
literally I didn't throw up. I'm
oh my God!
Drooling like gum liquid all over myself. No. This stuff is awful.
Oh wow,
Matty T, why did you let me poison myself with this stuff?
I thought you'd be up for the challenge.
I am obviously am up for the challenge. I did it. Got one little piece left here, otherwise I can't say it.
So are you swallowing it too?
No.
Okay. He's spitting it out every time.
No, I can't swallow this stuff.
I'm surprised though. Did you say it kind of dissolves?
It does.
Because through the package, it felt like it was hard as a rock.
It was, but when saliva hits it, chemistry works.
Chemistry works. Well, while he's doing that, we got a few more minutes left here at Knockouts. We're here until 2 o'clock. We'll probably be here until about 2:10 or 2:15, getting stuff packed up, but. I think we got one more.
Well, we gave away our 2 haircuts.
We did. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, we gave away all our haircuts, and the place is really filling up.
Had a couple of visitors come by and say hi, but like I said, we're here till 2. But you need to come even when we're not here. It's a good little place to come get your haircut.
It's a nice location too. There are plenty of good places to eat.
Easy location, right next to JJ's and right across the street from Gasano's.
If I had hair to cut,
you got a little.
I would come here. This would be my place. I would sit in Kaylee's chair, and I'd say, go for it. You can even try to use the hula hoop at the same time. See if we can do 2 things at once.
I think we should do that. Because you do have a little bit. I mean, we could clean you up along the neckline and get you cleaned up and looking good. I mean.
I really think I would rather eat a live cockroach than that gum.
Really?
Wow, is that bad?
I'm not really, putting myself up for the cockroach either.
We'll find the cockroaches.
Ooh, man.
We did this on the morning. You two bringing up cockroaches. We did Trivia Thursday. Where was the Grasshoppers? Was the Seattle? The Seattle Mariners have toasted grasshoppers.
Yeah, I remember learning about like chocolate-covered grasshoppers and stuff.
I've actually, I think it was chocolate-covered crickets. There was in one of these like weird food vending machines, like at
I remember
like a
seeing
Ripley's
those.
museum or something.
Right,
I actually
yeah.
got them, and ate. You couldn't even tell though when they're in the chocolate. They're just like it's almost like a Nestle Crunch.
See, what we've done is we've replaced, because you can't buy the candy cigarettes anymore. We've replaced it with insects.
That's what we're coming to.
Well, I think
I used to love candy cigarettes when I was a kid.
I remember
you always had like the one little puff of fake smoke that you could blow out, that powdered sugar stuff that you blew out, and then after that it was like that chewing gum. I think is the same ingredients of what I just chewed.
I remember the big league chew and thinking I was so cool that I felt like a baseball player when I would crack it open just like that and then stick it in your lip and look like Serrano coming up to the plate.
Got a funny tweet here from Jamie asking, so they do kids' haircuts here, 10 and under, just $18. He wants to know, though, if he brings his boys, does that mean he gets their beers? Ooh. Kaylee, I got to ask you this question. So we've got a question from a listener wanting to know if he brings 2 underage sons of his with him, can he have the beers that they would have gotten? I don't. I'm asking you.
Here,
You're the closest to me here.
Come on over here.
We got another person chuckling about this. This apparently is something they hadn't thought about. Somebody's going to come in here, buy a haircut for himself and his 2 sons, and then ask for 3 beers. I'm just telling you, someone is going to come in with this request. No, it doesn't work. They can't do it.
Darn.
Nope. It's only per legal customer.
Right.
Okay. So
because those boys probably don't have driver. They're not legal yet.
That's right.
They can't be designated drivers.
No, and they couldn't be designated drivers either. Yeah, I think he was just trying to be funny, but that was a good question, Jamie, because sooner or later somebody was going to come in with that request.
Hey, can I have my boy's beer?
And
He's only 6.
The answer is no. B
or you have
says,
a guy coming in like for 3 or 4 haircuts wearing like glasses one time, and a different shirt just so he can keep getting free beers.
Why did I know BE would come in with a text like this? He says if you smash Smarties, those little round saucer-like, you smash Smarties, you can exhale the smoke.
Yep.
And look like you're smoking.
Cool.
I've seen high school kids do that.
Obviously something BE has tried many times before. Dustin and Rogers says there's a place in Austin, Texas that sells scorpion suckers.
What?
Yummy! Yeah, it's the next big thing.
Road trip.
Hey, Sunday night, Long Gone Summer.
Yeah, that's going to
be. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire. I hope they deliver some truth in this, and I hope that they're honest about it. Let's look at it from the perspectives that the owners knew it was happening, okay? Let's look at it that the commissioner had a sense. Let's not just put it all on the players. I'm looking forward to watching this documentary Sunday. And I'm looking forward to being with you guys on Monday.
Had a good week.
I'm not chewing gum on Monday. No, sir.
That's not what you need to be saying right now.
Have yourselves a great weekend, and come on out here to Knockouts Haircuts in Fort Smith. For Matty T and SmackDown, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, get